Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. We are 28 days away from kicking things off for the 2025 season. Vols back out on the practice field today for practice number 3. They also practice tomorrow. They're going to take Monday off. They'll be back at it again on Tuesday and Wednesday, break on Thursday, then practice Friday and Saturday as well. I believe the first scrimmage of fall camp is actually going to be on Saturday, and I think that's when we may get some answers, and maybe not answers, but maybe a little direction, maybe a little sneak peek, maybe a little inside look to what this quarterback competition is actually going to look like. And, hey, I don't expect Josh Heupel to name a starter. I think when we roll into week 1, that depth chart is going to look eerily similar to what we've seen in years past. I think QB1 is going to say Joey Aguilar or Jake Merklinger or George McIntyre. I just don't think we're going to get an answer there. But maybe in this first scrimmage, we get an answer. We get a little look at what this quarterback competition is actually going to look like. And again, today, Boo Carter back out there with the team. We've seen him on the practice field stretching, but this is his first day that he's actually been out there in a helmet and shoulder pads. I saw Kaner post on VolQuest that he was in that helmet and shoulder pads for stretching. Once practice started, he actually headed off the field into the weight room, and that's what we've seen for the first 2 practices. Now we're seeing it again for practice number 3, and I'm sure he's going in there to handle his punishment, right? Pay the piper, pay his dues, pay for his sins that he committed against this football team. Probably a whole lot of conditioning, probably a whole lot of up-downs. Actually made his way back onto the field where he was working with a medicine ball off to the side. But look, we heard the quote from Heupel, right, going back to Tuesday. He said Boo Carter is still a part of this football team, but he has work to get his way back onto the grass. He's got work to do if he wants to get back out there on the playing field, and I think Boo Carter is doing that work. On media days, Boo Carter actually addressed the entire team on Tuesday. After Heupel met with the media, made the statements that he made, Boo Carter met with probably step number 1, addressing his entire team, admitting his faults, apologizing. Now let's go to work. Let's get back to it. But I would say for Boo Carter being out there on the field with a helmet, with pads, I'd say he's getting close to getting some work in, getting some actual drills in. If not today, I would say we are probably pretty close. There are also a lot of pictures floating around the internet like this one right here. Boo Carter at the East Tennessee Children's Hospital on both Wednesday and Thursday. And look, man, that's part of it. Not only is he earning back the trust, earning back the relationships, getting repairing the damage, earning back the trust of his teammates and his brothers and his coaches, but he's also trying to earn it back from this community, from this fan base. So I think this is good to see that Boo Carter is out there in the community again. 2 days he spent at the East Tennessee Children's Hospital. So I think this is a good look. And hey, man, I've said it before. I think this defense in 2025 can be better than it was a year ago. And I think it's going to be even more impressive, more impactful if you got Boo Carter playing at the star position. We saw what he did as a freshman. How much can he improve in year 2? And you're talking about this 2024 defense that gave up just 16 points a game, 7th in the country. And you look at this roster, you look at what, Coach Garner has done on the defensive line. We talk about depth. Well, depth shows up when you're going into year 5 and you're not stressed. You're not worried about that defensive line because what Rodney Garner has done recruiting. I think they've got a veteran bunch at linebacker. I liked what Jeremiah Thielander had to say at media days. That guy is fired up, motivated, and ready to go play ball. I love seeing Arian Carter take on a leadership role. We've seen the clip of him firing everybody up before practice. I think we've got 3 of the best corners in the entire country. You just got to get, Jermon McCoy back healthy, but I think Ricky Gibson, I think Colton Hood, I think that bunch right there is 3 of the best. I think we got 3 of the best in the country. There's a lot of talk about Caleb Beasley moving back to safety, also working some at star, his versatility that he brings. I think at safety, you're going to see Idris Farouk and Andre Turrentine. Bottom, I just think this defense can repeat what they did a year ago. But the question people want to know is, can the offense repeat what they did a year ago? We're going to talk about the offense here in just a second. Take a listen to a couple of things that Joey Halsley said on media days. But first, I need you to do real quick the YouTube stuff. Smash the thumbs up, subscribe, click that bell for notifications, all that good YouTube stuff. I would greatly appreciate it. I'm going to try to stream on Sunday night. Obviously, the live commitment we did was a disaster. I've got internet problems. Most of you guys know. Just a quick flood update. The restoration crew was out here. My entire basement was flooded, a lot of stuff destroyed, but they got all the water out of the house. They're running dryers 24 hours a day from now until Monday, just trying to dry everything out. the biggest issue that we're dealing with right now is that they found out this isn't the first time this house is flooded. Now, we've been here about a year. It's the first time that we've dealt with it, but they started pulling off the baseboards, looking at the walls. There's mold everywhere. It was just never dealt with, didn't pop up on the inspection. So now that's what we're dealing with. We've got to cut out walls. We've got to figure out the root of the problem outside the house that's leading to the flooding. So I've got a contractor coming in to work on that. It's just a lot, man. And as I've said before, the insurance not covering anything because it's an act of God, not something inside the house. So a lot of people have asked me how to donate. I guess because of my pride, my stubbornness, I pushed back on that, but Foul Ming wasn't having it. Foul Ming set up a GoFundMe. So if you want to donate, I appreciate it. By no means am I asking or expecting anything from anybody, but a lot of people have asked. So if you want to do that, I'll put that link in the description, and I'll also pin it to the top of the comment section. But shout out Foul Ming. He wouldn't take no for an answer. He said, I'm going to do this, whether you like it or not, because your house is a mess and we want to help. So I appreciate Foul Ming, and I appreciate all of you that are helping in this situation. But let's get back, because what I want to do is talk football, and that's what we're going to do. Again, I will try to stream Sunday night, but let's talk about this offense, right? An offense that we've seen fall off, an offense that led the country in scoring in 2022, 46 points a game, and then we slowly saw it fade away. 23, 31 points a game under Joe Milton, 24 an offensive powerhouse, a juggernaut. And let's take a listen. When Joey Halzle was asked about this, take a listen to what he had to say.
Coach, what are some of the key things, ingredients, and how you guys can maybe get more explosive plays offensively this year?
That's been the entire focus of the offseason is when people are playing really, really soft, dropping 8 in coverage, how do we keep being explosive in the passing game? And that's why, once again, we ran the ball the way we did last year, but it's not going to be that we're going to just say that that's par for the course now. The entire focus of this offseason is how do we get our playmakers in space with the ball in their hand where they can run and do what we've recruited them here to do. So feel like we've made some changes. We've done some things differently, but we're never going to lose sight of who we are, which is to be extremely aggressive with how we call it, to push the tempo, to make people play in space. But what are the one or two little different things that we can do that help free people up? And when people are playing really, really soft and saying, all right, you're not going over the top today, what are we going to do to attack that and not let them set the directive of the game?
I think one of the keys to being a great coach is realizing your faults, making changes, grow, adapt. And Josh Heupel's talked about that with this offense. This offense doesn't look the same as it did when he was at UCF. It doesn't look the same as it did when he was an offensive coordinator. He grows, he adapts, he changes. And this coaching staff realizes they have a problem. When they play soft and they drop everybody, we struggle to move the football. So how do they attack it? I want to see them get more creative, right? The versatility that we saw when Princeton Fant was here, the way they motioned Jalen Hyatt around in that Bama game to create mismatches for him to have a career day. You know, we know this offense. We know they want to run inside. We know they want to throw outside. They want to spread you out, take advantage of the numbers game, but they also need to use the middle of the field more. I would love to see them get the tight ends more involved. When's the last time we've seen a halfback screen, right? Let's get creative. Let's use the middle of the field. And it's not just the play calling, right? It's not just what Joey Halzle is calling or trying to do. It's also execution. You can't, it's the lazy approach to just put it on the offensive coordinator. I want them fired and we're moving on. Man, we had guys open last year. We had guys open and Nico would overthrow, or we had guys open and Nico drops a dime in a bucket and somebody drops it. Like we can't protect the quarterback. Lance Hurd wasn't playing 100%. The offensive line struggled at times. Can we get back to that 2022 offense this season? Can we put up those type of numbers in 2025? I don't know. Do we get elite quarterback play out of anybody? I don't know. Do we need elite quarterback play out of anybody? I think that's a fair question. Just be efficient. Can Joey Aguilar throw for over 3,000 yards and limit his interceptions? If so, I think we're back in the college football playoffs. Look, we've led the conference in rushing the last 2 years, and we've done it with 3-star running backs. And I think could we do it again? Can we lead the conference in rushing again? I like this running back room, man. I love the Deshaun Bishop story. A guy that chose Tennessee, wants to prove himself. In-state kid. What a great story. Peyton Lewis is a stud. Adding Star Thomas, I think this running back room can be really good. It may not look like it did a year ago. It may not be Dylan Sampson breaking all the records, but I think it can be efficient, and I think we could possibly lead the conference in rushing again. Offensive line, you already know my thoughts on the offensive line. I think this offensive line is going to be better than they were a year ago. I think, having Don Bailey on the channel and saying, hey, Coach G tells us to push them every single day in practice, and we have seen them get better as the course of the spring went on, and now we're talking about fall camp. Do they continue to get better? I think Wendell Moore Jr. is a dude. I think he's a dude. I think Sam Pendleton is a dude. What does William Satterwhite look like at center? I think this offensive line can be better. Obviously, we know the wide receivers are talented. Is the depth, is that going to become a problem? You got to stay healthy. You get hit with an injury bug, that can become a problem. Can this offense, though, get back to those 2022 numbers? And again, I love that Joey Halsley is addressing it and talking about it, saying, yeah, we know we are installing some things to try to attack that. So I'm excited, man. I'm excited about this 2025 season. I'm excited about this football team. I love this football team. I love that they seem to have a chip on their shoulder, and it's us against the world. And I think this team is full of leadership. What are your thoughts? Jump in the comment section. Let's talk about it. As always, smash the thumbs up on the way out the door. Go check out the merchandise. You can go to bonfire.com/store/Talkin VAWLS. You can also support by becoming a member of the channel. Hit the join button right down there below beside subscribe. It's only $1 a month. I am thinking about maybe doing a fan call-in members-only stream next Wednesday night. As long as everything is back in order and I can actually get a live stream going, we'll see what happens timing-wise. I will let you guys know, but make sure those memberships are up to date. But that is going to do it for this one. The Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. Go Big Orange.